Good evening and welcome back, fellow Diablo players. It's time again for another episode of Westmarch Workshop. Tonight's episode is packed, I say, with stuff to talk about. Season 3 is ended, 2.3 is dropped, Season 4 is here, well, in a few days at the time of this recording. We've got build ideas, we've got guides to talk about, and so much more. So the hype is definitely at an all-time high right now. I know I'm not the only one that feels like this. And so because of this, we have a ton to talk about. I obviously can't do this by myself, though, tonight. So we've got not two of us tonight, but three people. So before I introduce our guest for the evening, let's welcome our favorite co-host first, Mr. Nineball.
Oh, that's such a low blow to Steven.
Well,
Wow.
When you go
well,
with you
I
for
haven't
like
welcomed
our
him
favorite.
yet, and like he's the guest host, and like you're the host, and
Wow.
I was gonna introduce him after we introduced you, and then I had this like all planned out, and now I was like, yeah.
No, keep trying. Maybe next time.
Shots fired.
Hi.
I'm gonna ruin your intro next week.
Okay. Go ahead.
Ruiner!
I'm going
Ruiner.
to ruin. Ron, stop.
Don't do it.
Great start there.
All right, we've brought 3 raid call in jokes in so far. How many more can we do throughout the episode?
So
Moving on.
we quote the all right. So every night in raid call, without fail, there's this YouTube video that is it's a
Oh, we're
cartoon.
explaining it now. We're
Yeah, we
going.
have
we're going
to,
that
right?
far. All right. Okay.
We have
Let's do
to.
this.
And it's a cartoon about Harry Potter, and part of it is always like Ron, stop it, and it's really funny. So we're not gonna link it because it's not real appropriate, but
Oh.
Ron. So yeah, but yeah, next week I'm interrupting you right in the middle of your intro. I'm gonna be like,
Bring it on.
I have something to say. You can finish your thought, but first.
I'm gonna let you finish, but
I'm gonna let you finish.
Wait, is it Kanai or is it Kanye here?
Oh
Can't
god,
tell.
Oh wait.
we haven't even said the
Yeah, I
title
know.
of the episode yet.
All right, Leviathan, welcome to the show. You thought of the title, so let's hear the title.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And I want to welcome everybody to episode 64 of the Westmarch Workshop. Can I play season 4 yet? Is that corny or
that
It's real corny.
it is so beautifully bad that it brought a tear to my eye, and I now hate Steven just a little bit because I didn't think of that title on my own.
there it is?
There it is.
I don't know if we can ever
Putting it out there.
get a better one.
I don't know. It's so good. It's so
think-
good and bad.
I think the takeaway from this is that I complete you.
You do. I do. I miss you.
That's why we like having you on the show.
Uh-huh.
That's why I like coming back, man. You guys are the best. The best in
Forever.
the business.
Around, no one's ever gonna. Sorry.
It is corny. It is very corny.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So
right.
all right. Let's get into the week in gaming. So
Who's on
Nineball,
first?
Let's start out with Nineball.
Okay.
Nineball, what's your week in working? I mean, gaming been like?
Yeah, that is apt description. So as of last episode, I was talking about wanting to, at least reach Paragon 400. And, looking at my schedule in between the last episode and this week, I figured, okay, I can do this. I've got it. I can go and plan out. And you know how it always goes. This is what you think your schedule's going to be like, and then this is what your schedule actually is. It's one of those. And
Yep.
I don't really get much of a chance to play until Sunday at what? I think I logged on at around 5, 6 o'clock, so I only had like an hour and a half to play before the seasons hit. And Leviathan, you were there. We're all going, I think, and you were there. And you were there. You were there. Chris, you were there as well. We were all just kind of going through. We hit a couple T6 rifts and then a whole bunch of 33 to 38, 39 greater rifts just doing experience.
Mhm.
Long story short, I end up getting to I think it was 378 before the season ended. So just a little bit short.
I think if we had like another 2 hours, we would have gotten it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
you were,
We were
yeah,
booking.
definitely, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yep. I probably at one point should have just been like, okay, screw this. I'm just throwing on the Kane set. I'm doing this. I'm removing the Emerald. Gem of
YOLO.
Ease is going in. You all full experience carry.
Wait, yeah, because we were booking.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were moving.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, just like going through and kind of like playing. We ended the season how we started it, just a whole bunch of us. 3 days, another member of the Blizz Pro clan, writer and contributor there, that we were just hanging out, chatting, having fun, playing Diablo, just like old
Yep.
times.
Yep. Altair was in raid call. And
Mm-hmm.
I think were there a few others too in raid call?
I want to say Rob
that
was
one?
there. I think.
I think he might have been there too, yeah.
It's like it was just Sunday, but it's been so long, at least for me, because as
Yeah.
everyone knows, patch 2.3 dropped yesterday as of this recording, Tuesday.
Spoiler.
Yeah, Tuesday the 25th. But I haven't played it at all. I've not even gotten the cube yet because yesterday was inventory and I worked 16 and a half hours. So they were all like in that group text message we were talking about. Lunatic and Leviathan were going and talking early in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, Nine, for waking you up. We'll try and be better." And it's like I'm already at work. Like, oh, you opening? Yeah. And then it's just I'm also closing. We're doing inventory. And long story short, I send them a message at 2:30 in the morning saying I am now leaving work, and they're of course both asleep.
I was real asleep.
And
So
then
crazy.
after that, I still had to go into work at 10:30 today to reconcile the inventory count. And then I got home by around 2 and then fell asleep and slept until like 8 just and got on the show. So I am good. I'm good now. I'm fine. And I am after immediately following the show, I am logging in and I am getting my cube.
There it
That's
is.
right.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah.
You know what's funny is I think anyone who was like very loosely listening to you when you were talking about inventory might think that you spent 16 hours reconciling your seasonal stuff with your non-seasonal.
This is true. This is true. And of course, in my great decision, I figured, oh, I'll wait and do my inventory once the patch hits. So I skipped Monday from going and doing that. So I have
Yeah.
all of that just sitting there waiting for me.
Oh, you still have to do the rollover?
Yeah, I still have to do my rollover.
Okay.
Okay.
So after doing
That's-
inventory, I now get to do inventory. Only this one's funner. I
Now we
think,
play the game,
maybe.
Kyle. Now we play the
Now
game.
we play the game.
So let's see. Where's a coin? Who do I pass this off to? That is,
Ooh,
that's a-
teacher, pick me.
that's a mountain range. What coin? That's Colorado. Okay, so let's go for Leviathan then.
Yay. All right. So yeah, obviously part of my last week in gaming was told through Nine Ball with the end of the season travails that we went through. Just closing things out the way we started. Like you said, a lot of group stuff, which is fun, and hopefully some foreshadowing for season 4 because I really just want to embrace more than I ever have in the past, playing with friends and groups and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys all listening out there will be of the same sound mind and we can all get some grouping going in the future. But that's future. Past stuff. I actually didn't play a lot of Diablo. I was playing a lot of Heroes the last week or so. And then on the weekend, so like Saturday, Sunday, I played a decent amount of Diablo just to wrap up season 3. But I was enjoying the hell out of Heroes, playing Diablo characters over there. So, not too much of a traitorous act. But
Not cheating, not cheating. I
You
know
know.
my heroes is keep it Diablo related and we're good, right? Right?
right, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's,
Yeah, you're
that's how it
good.
works. So I was playing some Vala, which I love. She's so much fun. Obviously a little easy to kill, but she puts out the damage, so it's a fun play style. Kind of similar to Demon Hunters in general, easy to kill, put out a lot of damage. And then
Kind of.
Johanna was so much fun. Crusader for life, because
Mhm.
she is just unkillable, actually.
Like quite literally.
No, like once you-
Even games where I get steamrolled when I'm playing Johanna, my team might have like 35 deaths and I'll have 1. It's just it's beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah, between that iron skin and then if you take the indestructible talent, and you're a
Hmm.
tank, you're a force. But that was pretty much it for me. Just a little bit of Diablo. Not trying to get too crazy about it until the patch dropped, and then of course that happened yesterday.
I
So
was gonna
did a
say you
lot of
played a lot the past 2 days.
yeah, definitely. So on Monday I did do actually on Sunday night I did most of my reconciling of the stash stuff, and then Monday was just kind of answering some questions and hanging out in clam chat. And
Hmm.
then
Yeah.
on Tuesday the patch dropped, so did a lot of experimenting with the barb, farming up some things, putting things in the cube, and just getting the hype train rolling for Friday.
Yes.
Friday.
No, do not bring that evil here.
You have to do an intro in the future, a Rebecca Black parody.
Uh-huh. Though, completely unrelated. She actually has been doing a lot of other stuff on YouTube since that video had come out, and she is actually really cool. She is an awesome person, really
Huh.
funny.
Oh, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is your random internet fact for today.
That
Thank you
bingo.
for joining us on episode 64. We'll be back next week with more random internet trivia.
This feels like that cat facts text thing that you get signed up for that you have no idea how you get signed up for. Everyone's typing stop into their browser right now.
Yeah.
Stop.
Ron.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Oh. All right, so I'm done. I'm passing over to Lunatic to keep the show on the rails. Go,
All
go.
right,
Done.
I'll
Completely
try.
done.
If you're giving it to me to keep it on track. That's a terrible idea. I'm pretty corny, so I'm
Apparently,
gonna.
the episode is now over. Um,
All right, so yeah, my week in gaming. Um, Actually, so yeah, last week I think I actually played some. I played a little Heroes with you, Leviathan, before season 3 ended.
That's right.
Ended up, I forgot about that. I'm trying to get up to that level 12. I see. I'm not a huge Heroes guy, and like I have fun with it, but I'm not that great at it. And so, yeah, I would like to get that level 12 so I can get the portrait and the pennant for Diablo. So played a little bit of that. Haven't gotten 12 yet. I know it's super easy to get, so I'll get it eventually. Um, but yeah, season 3 was ending, so jumped on with you guys on Sunday, and we ran quite a few rifts with 3 days, and yeah, we were just having fun. I liked that. It was like you mentioned, Leviathan. It was like kind of like like the way we started the season, we just like groups, everyone, like tons of people in and out of raid call all night.
Hmm.
Uh, everyone just having a good time, and that's what I think that might be what I'm most excited about for season 4 is um, just seeing all the activity again, everyone being so excited. Like last night, I think in raid call we had like 6 or 7 people in there, which is quite a few like to have in there all at the same time.
For sure.
Um, and so, uh,
And in the clan too. Like, what was it, like 50
oh
people
man,
at one
yeah,
point?
clan has been super active.
mhm.
I no longer have to like boot as many people for inactivity, which I hate doing. But like we were trying to make room for other people, and so
And
I
just
don't feel like I'm doing that right now
yeah,
as
brief
much.
segue. If you've ever been booted from the clan, as long as you weren't booted for being
Yes,
an asshole, we will gladly take you back.
absolutely.
It's
Yes,
just,
yes.
after 2 weeks, when the clan fills up like ours does, we have to keep it fresh. We can't save spots for people that are inactive. So if you haven't played for 2 weeks, we kind of will go through and start shoving people out as we get applications in.
Yeah,
Nothing personal, absolutely not.
absolutely.
We all take breaks, so it's 100% understandable. And if we have a spot, we'll definitely let you back in. Shoot us an email, let us know that you were in the clan, and we'll definitely give you some priority to get back in.
Yeah. And I got an IM today as well, just saying, hey, like, I was out for a little bit. Can you and I was just like, oh, sorry, like whatever. Like and the thing is, like, if you do end up planning on taking, like a short break or something like that, and you want to shoot us a note saying, hey, like I'm taking off for a little bit, just take a break, I'll be back, like we'll save you a spot. Like we're pretty relaxed about it. And it's been the 2 week limit has been kind of relaxed lately, but it will probably be more strictly enforced coming up because the clan's gonna be a lot more active, and so we're always hovering close to that 150 limit. I really wish they would raise that limit. I know like Ink Gamers has that problem, and so they have to have multiple clans, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have the resources to do that, to do something like that. But so they just need to raise the limit. But yeah, so yeah, clan's been really active, and that's been really exciting to see. So yeah, I did the whole season rollover, and yeah, I think it might be interesting to talk about the stash rollover in the news section, because I know a lot of people were talking about that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so did that Sunday night. I went through a few characters, deleted a few, to clear up some room for new characters in the season, all that good stuff. So yeah, other than that, like, last night jumped on. I've been playing, I think most nights this week, but yeah, jumped on last night for 2.3. Um, got my cube. I think I did a full round of bounties to get all the mats and cubed a few things, and I had to jump off because I go to bed early. So
Wah, wah.
womp womp. So yeah, I think the remainder of the week, I guess it's only like tonight and tomorrow, and before the season opener on Friday, I think I'm just gonna play some more. Just trying to get more used to the barb, and um, figuring out, like how I want to allocate skills into all the level, like when we're leveling and things like that. We were talking about that today, over text, like,
Mm-hmm.
optimal skills when you're leveling. I think we just kind of decided, whatever's fun is going to work the best, because,
It's like
uh,
this next level min maxing.
yep,
Mhm. All
yep.
right, at level 13, I have to equip this rune for this skill, and then at 27, I replace it with this skill, and that rune opens
Yeah.
up, and I can take this passive at 30, and yeah.
Yeah. And like, I definitely don't want to do that, but at the same time, I want to make sure I know what's coming up, so I'm not always like cycling through all my skills after each level and saying, all right, what did I get here? What did I get here? Like, I want to have a good idea of like what's coming up, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, because I know like I'm playing with the two of you guys and then Brandy as well, or Dainty, and so I don't want to like hold the group back by, like, oh, what's Lunatic doing? Oh, he's looking through his skills and looking through his stash again. I don't want to be that
Hold
guy.
that guy.
That guy.
No one wants to
So
be that guy.
no one wants to be that guy. So I'm gonna do a little bit of work on that.
Hey, there. When it comes to tomorrow or Friday's stream, there really is one rule. That's hashtag Fiend Nightball. As long as you do that, we're good.
That's right.
We're all three gonna be strength, so we got you, man.
All right.
It's gonna be kind of
Voice.
feed Dainty as well. Like we were talking about that earlier as well. Like, we're gonna have to feed Dainty, because every dex gear that we get, or intellect gear, intelligence gear, we're gonna give her, right?
Pretty
So
much. No
Yeah.
reason to keep it.
she's
really.
rolling the witch doctor, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's been my weekend gaming. Been playing some Diablo.
Nice. Nice.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Feels good to, like I said, it feels good to be back and have everyone back, and seeing a lot of faces I haven't seen in a while in clan.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I've been saying it for the last few days. Like, this seems the level of hype and the amount of activity right now, this seems to only be rivaled by when seasons were first introduced, that first
oh,
week before season three was going to hit, basically, or season one was going to hit basically a year ago from right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was just so like, oh, I can't wait. Like, I can't wait to roll, get my groups together. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, back then too, like there was the conquest to get to 70 first. So like everyone was like really trying to figure out like what group can I get together and all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like even without that, like as a catalyst, there's still so much excitement and so much hype, and it's gonna be awesome.
and
Yeah.
I think it's different this time around too, because a lot of us, and I don't want to speak for everybody, because there are new people coming to the game, and people are still trying to find their communities. But our community, we're kind of in place now, and we have like
Mhm.
this community. And like, I should take that time to say, like, if you're listening to this and you are not a part of some community, like in some form or another in Diablo, like, I highly encourage you to check out us, check out Ink Gamers, check out
Shattered Soulstone.
Shattered
Mm-hmm.
Soulstones. Check out those, because like everybody is like like that I've come across, like Nevik at Shattered Soulstone and all those guys are like super friendly, super welcoming. Highly, 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 highly encourage you to check out communities because everyone's so welcoming and it just makes the game like exponentially more fun to play it beside others. So
And you don't have to leave
do
your
it.
clan to like join a community too. So if you're
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's a good point.
really sentimental to your clan, obviously that's fine, but just join a podcast community. And then I know, like for myself, speaking for myself directly, like if I have Uber keys to run or machines to run, I'm gonna spam clan chat first, and then I'm gonna go right to like Westmarch Workshop and just say, hey, I have spots, come on in.
Yep.
So always a good resource.
Yep.
Yeah, always is. And it's just like going through, hopping in, and you might just like log in, load up a game, and then I know at least for me, I have a couple people that will whisper me, and it's like, oh, what you doing? I'm just running T6 Rifts. It's like, can I join? By all means,
Hmm.
just go through. Helps clear faster, get more drops, more experience, more gold. All,
All good
all good
stuff.
stuff. All
Yeah.
great stuff.
And
And
so I sorry, what like as we're talking about this, we're literally getting clan requests right now in the live show. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
and I'm on. If you guys are listening to the live show, I'm on. So just shoot a message. There you
Mhm.
go.
Yeah, and we have a pretty healthy mix of both normal and hardcore players.
Yep.
So we will take both. All of us here are hardcore players. We talk about hardcore a lot, but we by no means. I think the majority of our clan actually is still softcore.
Hmm.
So
Or dabbles
by
in both.
yeah, or go through and they at least give it a try. If you're in our clan, you're probably going to end up trying hardcore at some point. When we go through and talk about how much fun we're having, oh, you should do it too. It's a gateway drug. Um, but yeah, it's a great
It's fun,
experience.
and we're really relaxed, and so like we're not elitist by any means. So
Hmm.
we like to have a lot of fun. So
Speak
yeah,
for
we are
yourself.
called Blizz Pro. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
the Blizz
Leviathan is
Pro. Yeah, you can do a
elitist.
search for Blizz Pro in order to find a clan. Uh-huh.
So yeah, with that,
Yeah.
well,
I guess I just want to touch on real quick since we were already talking about it. Kind of, I can skip ahead to that one. The stream. So as you all know, we at the Westmarch Workshop kind of have a tradition now of we will do the season beginning like a non-stop play session until we hit 70 and then beyond. And so this week you can go through and find us. We thought that we might be starting a little bit late after the season beginning, but we might actually be starting close to on time. So yeah, look for us. It will not be on the Blizz Pro channel. I know Leviathan, you're going to be streaming.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be streaming, so that's going to be twitch.tv/Leviathan111, twitch.tv/9ball. Lunatic,
how about not?
are you streaming?
No, I doubt I will stream. I
Okay.
I'll feed off you guys.
Yep.
And
And just look at the show Twitter at the WM Workshop, and you'll be able to find links from there. Well, and we'll be streaming with Dainty, a good friend of the show, and she'll be tagging along. It's great. It's fun. I know last season it got weird late into the evening, and just none of us were really there, mentally, and it just was some interesting conversations. I don't even remember half of them.
Yeah, I don't even know if you want to go back and look in the vault there because it'd probably be like,
Uh-huh.
what were we on?
If you have no idea what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, when we start going on about like, Ron Stop and all that other type of stuff, it gets worse. We go deeper down the rabbit hole of internet jokes. So there you go.
yeah, there's a lot of really bad jokes, corny jokes, because I am corny.
Ah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, you're not. No, you're not.
You're welcome.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Okay.
So, are you
All
ready?
right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Can I continue?
Ah,
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
ah, there it
Hey-o.
is. Oh boy, how many times are we gonna do that?
not enough.
Not enough. But as we kind of mentioned or alluded to in our weekend gamings, yeah, season 3 is over, and 2.3 is here, but season 4 is
Hey.
not here yet. Um, But I guess there's a couple other things. I'm sure most people, if you're listening to the show, you probably are going to or have already, kind of done the stash rollover, where all of your items get sent to you, from the previous season. You have to go and collect your mail, and just like, the real mail, you have a whole bunch of junk, and it's like, why did I get this? Why was I even holding on to that? You're going through and comparing gyms. Well, it's like from the season, I've got a level 47 Bane of the Trapped, and my previous one was like 15, so I can chuck that one. I can throw it away. So it's a whole bunch of just stash management, organizing.
So how
Yeah,
do
and
your guys'
that's
stashes look?
well, when I rolled it over, it was pretty. But now that I've been playing a bunch and like, oh, I want to cube that, or oh, I need to save these rears because I want to use the Hope of Cain on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting a little messy, especially because I want to try even though it's this brief non-seasonal period, I want to like get the new items for the Demon Hunter and the Crusader and the Barb. So I have all these like random rares that I'm stashing right now. So it's a little all over the place.
You
But
want to go through and put all the time and effort and make this character like 100% playable and like on point for the 1 week in between seasons that you actually bother playing them.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Why
am
not
right there
both?
with you. Why not both? I am right there with you. As soon as I have some free time, I guess probably tonight after. For me, it's the same thing. It's like I was holding off on actually doing my inventory because I wanted to go through, grab the cube, collect a whole bunch of mats, and then just start cubing items so that way I don't have to worry about holding on to them in the stash. But yeah, playtime. What is free time? What is free
What
time?
is free time?
Hmm.
So, like, do you guys have any specific like I don't any rules that you go by in your stashes to say like, okay, this tab is reserved for this. This tab is reserved for this. This is blah 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 blah.
Well, first, can I air a grievance about the rollover system?
Sure.
Yes.
I
No,
wish.
only good things here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
kidding. No. Okay.
No, 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 no. I'll allow it.
Overruled.
Overruled.
What a guy. Wow, so nice.
You
Thank
have
you.
30 seconds.
All right, on the clock. Here we go.
29.
So I was in my stream earlier today.
27.
Long shot came in. Oh my gosh, I can't think of counting. Longshot, who's a member of the clan and also probably watching live right now, came in. It was either yesterday or was today, and was just talking about some of the like woes he was having with his rollover because he was like, I have to like single-handedly select all these items and like
Yeah.
go through and decide. And I was like, there are the checkboxes, you know that, right? And he totally like missed the checkboxes. So I feel like there could be more obvious ways for the stash rollover to work. I also wish that I mean, I don't know. I guess like it depends on how they could use the technology to make it happen. But I really wish like you could empty out an entire like part of your stash, right? And then have the items filter to there. I just wish you had more control over where they went because they all right now go to the inventory of the current character that you're
Yeah.
on. But it would be nice to say like, okay, in stash tab 5, I just want you to put like all my legendaries that I'm selecting. Just send those over there. Just a few more customization options because right now it's a bit of a beer to go through and then like, okay, I know I want to save these pieces, so I'll take these few out. Okay, throw them in my stash. Okay, go back. All right, what's in the mail? Okay, back forth, back forth.
Hmm.
Or what if like instead of well, it could still be a mailbox even, but you just even had like it would be like a temporary stash space that literally looked like another stash. Like it was just like another screen that looked like your inventory that you could bring up, and you could literally just like right click things to go into your stash from like straight from your mailbox into your wherever you had open or something like that.
That
I don't.
actually sounds great because you would also be able to, I would assume, hover over the items at that point too. So then you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
also,
And
yeah,
you
no,
would just view them exactly like you would in an inventory. The only problem is with like I think the UI might get a little cluttered if you were like you'd probably have to have either that and your inventory open or that and your stash open. I don't think you could probably have all three at the same
I'm,
time.
I mean, it would almost be reminiscent of when you have like the trade window back in the day, you know, when people
Oh
used to
yeah.
trade things. So similar, or like the auction
Hmm.
house format that there used to be. Obviously, that wasn't like stash open at the same time, but like there, it feels like there could be a different way to do
The easy solution, of course, is just more stash space, right? Am I right?
it.
All
And
right.
that's what we saw a lot of this week, like need more stash space. What do you guys I know we've covered this and like we've talked about stuff, but how do you guys feel about the stash space?
Um, I could always use more. I'm okay with it. I still am interested in seeing how it plays out with the interaction between overall stash space and Kanai's cube. And that question won't really be answered until I guess like a month or two into the season itself, once people have, right now it's going to be, you know, farming up materials to start cubing items, like cubing the good items, and then like going and like, okay, now that I've got my good items, I can start doing the stuff that I don't really care about, that I want to go and do it anyways. Especially, for the season, we'll kind of touch on this a little bit. We talked about the season journeys, where if you want to go, you know, completely own the season, and you want to get the Guardian, complete the Guardian uh,
Tier.
the
Yeah.
Guardian tier, thank you, for the seasonal journey, you have to cube 100 items in the
Mhm.
season. That,
So many.
that is a lot.
Oh yeah.
Um, so I think it's additive. You don't have to get like 100 on a single class. You can get 100 between the different classes.
That's correct.
So
Yep.
so there's a lot. It sounds like a lot, but it's not as much as you think it would. The hardest part is just going to be farming up all the mats in order to do it.
Definitely. It's nice though because at least that one is just putting the time in. Like it's
Hmm.
doable. You just have to eventually put all the time in to do it. And it is the kind of thing that you'll want to do too because the more options you have in the cube, then potentially the more builds or the more ideas you could strike up.
And it's just, and you're going through and doing that. I know I have, like, just looking at in my stash, I have like a cloak of Garwolf. I'm never going to use it, but I'm holding on to it because, oh, it's cool,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But like, once it's cubed, it's like I have absolutely no reason to ever have another one of those ever again. It can always be sharded. I don't have to hold on to one just because, oh, I like the item, and who knows, it might be useful for someone one day. And now I'll just have the property, and if I ever actually have to use the item for my build, it's relatively common. There'll be other ones where it's like I'll be hesitant to like cube a
Mm.
calamity or a Kreider
Yeah.
shot, just because it's like, what if I never see one again and I need to use it? Um, I don't know.
So then the question isn't, and this is the problem I've started seeing is I feel like I'm saving things just so when I get the cube, I'm like, well, I'm gonna cube this eventually because as I've mentioned in like every episode that I've been on, I am a completionist and I like to check things off the list. Like I'm saving probably too much. I'm hoarding. My wife calls me a hoarder. I didn't realize I was until I married her. Um, yeah, I'm holding on to things because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was going to answer your question with something similar to that sentiment. I think when we look at stash space, especially in the realm of patch 2.3, it's almost like temporal limitations because it's going to be in flux from like different parts of the season. If we're thinking about it in the context of a season, right? Because early on, you'll be limited on materials, but you'll probably be finding, if you're playing efficiently enough, a decent amount of legendaries to the point you're going to be saving more legendaries
Hmm.
than you'll be able to cube. So you kind of outscale your
Yeah.
ability to get rid of those legendaries, right?
Hmm.
So at some point, though, you'll be farming so efficiently and not finding so many new legendaries as you start to put them into the cube that you won't need the space that those would take up. And one of the other things that might clog inventory early on is keeping rears. Of course, you can also
Yeah.
craft rears, so maybe like you don't need to hold as many as you want, but not holding the ones that you pick up are free versus the ones that you would have to craft. So it's just like min maxing the use of crafting materials.
Hmm.
But that also should fade off to the middle or end of the season as well, because
Yeah.
at some point you won't be needing to like make legendaries.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It'll be like a month or two before we really know the answer to that question because, yeah, like it's going to create more stash problems that we've had people, send in their comments to the show as well as in chat over the last couple of episodes. That it's like, oh, the cube right now is making my stash worse because I'm holding on to everything. But well, once
Hmm.
it's here and you start cubing things, then won't it dwindle away? Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're right. Like that. So that problem, like those initial problems, just seem like hopefully they're just gonna be temporary. Um, but right now, with the season rollover and that stacking on top of it, it's it's a lot.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
And then the next thing we'll need to see is, of course, because I guess here's my main concern, right? And this is probably the most one, or I know, like when you look at stash space, the obvious answer is it'd be nice to have more. But at least looking at it from a logical standpoint, from a very, very logistical standpoint, each patch has added new items.
Mm-hmm.
Each patch has not added more stash space. So by virtue of each patch just giving you more things to have and collect, you're going to eventually run yourself out of stash space, even if it was ever adequate, which is debatable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's still eventually going to not be enough because they keep adding, which is great, keep adding like awesome items and things that you want to hold on to. Sets, new sets are things that you definitely want to hold on to, and they're going to be ones that you like will need to hold in until you have like all six pieces, or like, if you want to switch in and out. So at
That,
some
that
point,
that sounds like to me infallible reasoning of why they should add more stash space. It's simple math,
It
people.
has to. You
Uh-huh.
have to give us
You
more.
added new items, therefore we need new stash space, right?
Did
Right?
anybody see John Yang's tweet of all of his pictures of all of his mules? And
yeah.
Oh.
like he said, I think I'm a hoarder, and he had like he had all of his stash tabs literally full, and then
Mm-hmm.
he had like I don't remember how many characters he posted. Like looked like most of them were all full as well
Mm-hmm.
of just items.
I've seen
And
that a couple of times, and a lot of people that are just equally as bad with, all like 11 of their character slots. Their inventories they're all the mules are full of items, and the stash is full. And it's like, well, I'm done organizing my stash tab. I'm ready for the cube. Like, oh dear, that's a lot of items.
No.
Uh,
so I mean, like, because the issue doesn't seem to be as much during the season. So like when we're playing in our stashes, we're looking at our stashes during the season. It doesn't like I'm not. I mean, I do say it during the season, but I'm like, oh, I wish I had more stash space. But it's not like a real. It does. It's not like a real problem during the season. I think and that's for me at least. I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but for me, it's when the season rollover comes and then I take everything that I've played up to that point
mm-hmm.
plus everything that I've just been recently playing, and that's when my most recent or that's when my biggest problems come. And so I it would be nice to just have like some sort of solution with the season to non-season transition. And I don't know what that would look like, but
Hmm.
and how do you separate that because some people strictly play just non-season.
Mm-hmm.
um uh,
And it doesn't bother them. And then
right,
for the people
right.
that do play seasons, it's talk about first world problems. Oh, I have to spend so much time reorganizing my stash tab and like deleting items for like 1 week until I forget that all those characters and that stash completely exist for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I'm not an advocate necessarily for saying we have to have more stash space because I like that they're trying to keep it simple and they're trying to make you think about okay what's most important, but then there are first world problems on how to roll it over, and then as we've talked about before, like the hardcore player, it's magnified because a lot of people save old sets, and so it's like since the season rollover I've gotten rid of like all duplicate sets, and I mean I don't have duplicates of like anything anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of the other problems, I guess, like with just one little thing that I was thinking about the other day with mules for hardcore. That is like you have to have like a mule that isn't the character that you play because if you die, you lose everything that they were holding.
Right.
Yep.
Because like right now, I have like all of my Witch Doctor items on my Season 2 Witch Doctor that I haven't really played all that much, but it's like I can't really play them because
You
my
can't
stash
play
was
them.
full, and it's like if I die, I lose everything. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's
We'll
what
see.
like that's
I'm
one
sure.
thing.
It's like they have some things in there. I'm sure that will probably get a stash tab at some point when they see that they've added in too many items, that they see that it is an issue, and so they do want to open it up a little bit. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
like if anything, this kind of reminds me of when we were on our crusade about blood shard cap increase. We had to wait a little bit for it to happen, but when they did it, A, it was in a way that no one really saw coming,
Yep.
and then B, it pretty much solved the problem. Like who knows if at some point again we're like, oh, we want a better way to increase our blood shard cap or something. But I feel like the cube is probably step one of a step three plan or something in order to help alleviate the needs for stash space because it like no matter what it will help just in terms of those your Garwolf cloak is a prime example of something that
I love the
Uh-huh.
Garwolf cloak.
Mhm.
I
it
do.
will not sit in your stash taking up space anymore because it will sit in your cube now. But of
Mhm.
course, it doesn't fully solve the problem. So like it's a half step, a half measure,
Yep.
and maybe it can do more.
So I guess we'll see what this grand experiment will do.
Yep.
How is this exact conversation going to play out at the end of season 4? What are we going to talk about? Is it even going to be an issue? Are we going to have like, oh my gosh, season 4 has ended, season 5 is almost here. What did you guys do? Oh, I spent 30 seconds yesterday going and doing my stash rollover because I had nothing in it.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
It's not a terrible
Well,
problem to have.
yeah, definitely not. And there is one other thing. Wrote an article about this last week because Grumiku made some comments of doing an update to the community site's player
Yeah.
profile page. That's a lot of words. Um,
Profile
yeah,
PPP.
page.
yeah. So part of they updated the game guide with Kanai's cube, the new difficulties that were added, the new items that got added. They also changed the talent calculator. But one of the big things that they did is they updated the player profiles. So this
Yes.
is a completely random player profile that I pulled from the internet from some just random person um, to go through and show it off.
Why
And
is alive and
uh,
smiling right now?
oh my god. This is what you guys are talking
Dun
about.
dun dun. And as you can see here, they've added in the player profiles what powers that you have equipped through your cube. So you can actually go and see players and see, oh, well, he's got, you know, these 3 items cubed into their profile. So now you get to see the cube powers, you get to see their skills, their passives, and of course, all of their beautiful, beautiful gear in the name of all of their characters.
That's what you're cubing.
Emma.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Now my seed farming build for the barb is out there. Oh, there go all my secrets.
There are all of your secrets that were out there in the open to begin with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wait, I'm looking at my Bull Kathos. One of my swords didn't have a gem in it. I'm pretty sure it does in live. If it doesn't, I am a noob officially. And I
No, it
apologize.
does. It's not showing.
Uh,
There have been some other ones. I think we got an item of the week picture sent in where they had actually taken the screenshot from their player profile, not in game, and it didn't show the icon for the item.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, they just updated. They did a massive update to the web services, so there's going to be some graphical glitches here and there till they get everything sorted out. Because you could not change code and not have something break.
Of course not.
It's just that is what it is.
This is the life of web coding.
So, just minor soapbox moment. I'm still waiting for them to go and like add in like your banner and achievement points into the player profile. Just saying.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
especially too because if they do and it makes it a more visible thing, then they can also leverage that as parts of, the seasonal journey that they might reward in the future, like a sweet banner design or something.
Yeah.
And that would just motivate people to be excited about that as a reward because oh yeah, I just remember they added the banners to my profile, so it will be visible more than just people seeing it when they maybe join me in a game.
Yeah, I would love to see them add some indicator of the player of the season journey to the player profile, just so you can show off, like have that little badge of accomplishment, or even just like something tagged onto it. You finished I guess this would go to like the StarCraft player profiles. You can go to their online profile and view their rank and placement with all the different brackets that they played in for all the previous seasons. So you can like go onto my profile and see how bad I am and that I only ranked silver, like back in season 2 of 2012, and stuff like that. So, it's pretty cool if they would add something like that can go through and say, he finished rank 7 in the season 2 Crusader leaderboard. Just have like a little part that will show this is the conquests that they've completed. This is their placement in the previous seasonal leaderboards, or
That'd be great.
they completed the Guardian tier for the season 4 season journey. Just like
Just like
little tiny updates like that kind of makes it closer to the StarCraft profiles or the World of Warcraft armory.
right, because it's all stuff that we can currently see in game. You have to dig a little for some of it too. But yeah, it'd be great if it was just like a one-stop shop, congregate all that info, and then if someone's like, "Who are you? Do you even play Diablo?" You're like, "Bam! Look at my page. Like I have all these achievements and accolades."
Like, hi, I'm not gonna show you that.
Nope, not at all. Never.
I gotta start playing now if all this stuff's gonna be public, like, so easily visible. I'm just kidding. I haven't really been playing it all the past few seasons.
There you
That's
go.
a lie.
Now we can see how much of a noob you are. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's cool that they updated all the new site features, and yeah, it's nice. Nice to have all that stuff update as the patch is coming out. So
Yeah. So, do you guys want to talk about season 4? Maybe a little bit.
let's talk a little bit about season 4.
A little bit, just a little bit. Okay.
I'd like to do that.
All right. So yeah, season 4. It comes Friday, the day after my birthday. Shameless plug. I don't care.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, if you're listening to this on Thursday, or last week, if you're listening to this at some point in the future. I don't know.
So Thursday, August 27th, everyone send Nineball a picture of Jar Jar Binks.
The best birthday gift.
Thank you for joining us for episode 64.
We've ended it twice now.
Next week, we will be back with episode 65 and a new co-host.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Booted.
Done. That's it. I think this is probably like the third time that I booted you for Jar Jar jokes.
3 strikes.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
Anyway,
season 4.
Season 4. We've got. I guess there's a lot. Like the big thing with the season, of course, is going through and reaching 70, getting to Torment, getting your set complete, and then like really just jumping, like hardcore lowercase h into conquests or whatever it is that you want to accomplish in the season. And it's like there's just all the passion, excitement that goes into it, and wanting to pull those all-nighters, just playing like 20 hours nonstop. And there's a lot of really good resources out there to help you do that better.
Fact.
Yep, there's Minerva DH. She is a YouTube streamer. She's a lot on social media. I believe, she was with us for the season 3 all-nighter.
That's correct. Yep.
She was with us for the season 3 all-nighter. She also is a writer and contributor over at BlizzPro as well. She recently put together and published a guide that puts some of the finer tips for going and how you can level most efficiently. And kind of like the sweet and short of it is there's 3 main ways that you can do it that have different levels of efficiency. They all kind of end up getting you to 70 within the same general time frame, like within an hour or two of each other. If you're only concerned about speed and nothing else, the best thing to do is stick to the Cursed Chest bounties in Halls of Agony level 3. And that is your absolute most amount of XP per hour that you can get while leveling on hard difficulty. Always making sure that you have the highest level ruby that you can in your helm, and just going from there. Unfortunately, even though that gives you the most XP, it also gives you the least amount of gear. So once you get to 70, you can't just hop straight into Torment. You have to sit there and farm, normal and hard a little bit longer until you can get yourself prepared to get into tournament and go from there.
Mhm.
Um,
I guess, can
Go
I
ahead.
jump in real quick too?
By all means.
Another pro and con too. The reason why it's so fast is because it's very, what's the word? Consistent.
Hmm.
Consistent in density because Halls of Agony 3, you can kind of guarantee you're going to have huge packs of those skeletons, and they're also easy to kill mobs as well too, so it's rather safe. Um, and also the cursed chest ones as well too. Like you can cherry pick, so at no point are you forced to kind of do anything that's low density or has randomness kind of assigned to it. The only randomness would be rather the bounties for those cursed chests spawning your game or not. The con, however, of course, is that it would be boring as hell to run the same area over and over again.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that during season 3. We would go and do we would do a round of bounties and then Halls of Agony 2 and 3, and then a round of
Hmm.
bounties and Halls of Agony 2 and 3. Just I guess to break up the monotony a little bit.
Yeah, like a
Um,
combo.
Yeah, which is one of the other ways of going through and doing it is just going and completing bounties. It's probably the slowest of like the 3 main methods. It does give you consistent experience. It gives you consistent amount of gear, and it's a varied gameplay. You also can you have a small chance at getting some of the act specific mats, especially if you do you do all of the bounties, across all of the bonus acts, throughout a given game before you go and create a new one.
Hmm.
Um, so it does at least starts you off a little bit ahead of the game. Once you reach 70, you're gonna even though it takes you longer to get there, you'll have better gear and you have some mats farmed up, so you can immediately start cubing some things to begin with. Um, and then kind of like I guess somewhat there in the middle between the two of them is rifts. Is just going because you don't require key fragments anymore. You can just do rifts, and it's just 1 through 70, nothing but rifts. It's faster than bounties, and it gives you better gear. It's one of the ones where it actually kind of sets you up the best for 70. If you're playing softcore, you normally will be able to immediately jump into Torment 1 as soon as you hit 70 if you're doing the Rift method. Hardcore, of course, always gauge it. Do you have the survivability to stay in, to actually go through and compete in Torment 1? The new Greater Rift system is actually just amazing for answering the question, can I do Torment 1?
Kanai.
Because
There it is.
There it is. I didn't even realize it. Just because you can go and it will show you in the drop down menu of where the different difficulties are. You can go through and say, okay, well, I was able to complete expert. You know, I'll do master next on like a greater rift difficulty, and now can I do the in between torment 1? Or can I do the next stop up? You can gradually increase your difficulty with the greater rifts, see how hard it is, and then make the call whether you can do it or not.
Yeah. No, that's true. And obviously, one of the pros for being in rifts is that you get those increased chances at the legendary. So, like Nightball was mentioning, your gear is going to be, far and away probably better.
Hmm.
Even though randomness is still going to be involved there, just more chances at those legendaries means a better chance at having a nice slew of stuff by the time you hit 70.
Yeah, and it just is one of those ones that playing in a group is also going to be more beneficial to you. Not only through
Quite
the
beneficial.
XP bonus, but hashtag feed 9ball. Just by going and playing with other people, it gives you a better selection of gear. Whether it's you're going through and you have it spread across where you have at least one of every gear type represented in your group, or if you're all even if you're rolling all Crusaders, sometimes someone is going to have like an awesome legendary weapon drop, and they have a weapon that's better than anything that you have, and they're like, here, you take it. I don't need it anymore. I'll drop it, pass it on. And just going through and sharing the gear in order to keep the entire group, it helps mitigate that RNG of just like the one person getting all the good gear. It helps spread it around and benefits everyone.
Yeah.
Nothing,
I,
Dad? Nothing?
I was waiting for Lunatic to chime in.
uh, no.
No.
Nothing that I mean, like, so like, do we want to talk about what we're planning on doing,
Hmm.
or
Well, I guess I wanted to, if you didn't have anything, I
no?
just wanted to give a chance to open the floor. But For at least some of I just want to talk more about like the methodology because some people might be saying, okay, well, what exactly is it that makes one method better than the other, better than the other, better than, worse than, etc. And when you're thinking about bounties, I think it's worth mentioning that, yeah, you will end up with a decent amount of the legendary materials when you hit 70, but by virtue of getting to 70, you'll farm all those bounties that you just did far more efficiently because you'll
Mm-hmm.
have that
Sure,
level
7.
70 gear. Once you're into Torment 1, you're starting to collect your sets and stuff. So you're just gaining so much power. Like, I believe we've talked about this previously. Like, it starts to really snowball itself, as you move up in the difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost makes sense to hold off on the bounties, at least until you get to 70 so you can start cubing things and like further solidify your build and add some extra power and oomph to it. But you would almost be doing yourself a time save service for the future by not doing any bounties, before reaching 70.
Except curse chest.
Right. Oh, sorry. Right. Well, I guess I just meant like the
Yeah,
full
yeah, yeah,
bounty
yeah.
clear
You're right.
for the purpose of the legendary materials.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess there was some other ones. If you play like in adventure mode, this is like an easy tip. Is just when you first start off, go talk to your followers in adventure mode in whatever class it is that you're playing. You can take their weapons, because like Cormac and Ariana have better weapons than what you would start off with if you're a melee class, and for demon hunters, Linden is going to have a better crossbow than what you start off with, and they're level 1 equipable, and it just kind of sets you ahead, so you don't have to worry. Because that's one of the worst parts of like playing a demon hunter. You can only use ranged weapons. I don't know how many times back in classic I would go through and start playing, and I'm almost saving Kane, and I'm still using the same little rinky-dinky like 3 DPM crossbow because nothing else is dropped, and it's like,
Right.
ah,
So
hate it.
so another little tips like that, going off of that. So like around level 6 and 7, the merchants sell rings at that point, I believe. And then 10 and 12 they sell amulets, correct? So
Hmm.
it's good to go back around those levels and head back, just buy a ring or two to get the extra little boost in damage or experience or whatever they have on there. Um, so yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, because if you get those average damage rolls on your rings, like you said, level 6, and then for the amulet, I believe it's level 12, that's going to set you ahead too. Because pretty much like all you're trying to do is just leverage your base damage as high as possible, as early as possible.
yep,
Hmm.
So that's why you're trying to put that ruby in there to just bump up that base damage. That's why you want those average damage rolls on those rings as soon as possible. That's why if you can, when you get to like level 42-ish, get craft up the blacksmith to his top tier, and then make a level 60 weapon and hope for like some level reduction on there. Because
yep.
then you just always want to be kind of pushing yourself ahead of the curve.
Hmm.
So like damage and experience, but like bonus experience.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that is entirely what the leveling process is.
I think it's
So
worth
fun.
noting too.
Hmm.
Um, just overall, of course, it's awesome that there are all these different methods for it, and like Lunatic, maybe we'll get into this in quite a little bit. Just what we plan to do, some mishmash of all of it. But there are also ways to mitigate like why your method has a weakness. And so, for instance, like the methods that don't do well in terms of keeping you geared, but might be faster, you can actually like offset that because the crafting was improved in 2.3 as well.
Hmm.
So you can actually if you're doing the bounty method, by the way, out of the caches, you're going to be getting a ton of plants. They just dump them on you. I think it drops at minimum like 2 or 3, and usually I've seen
Yeah,
screenshots of people getting like 10.
I think it is 2 now. It's like
Hmm.
guaranteed that you're supposed to get like 2 crafting patterns every time that you complete one.
As long as they're available to drop for you.
Very true.
So yeah, so that's like a really easy way to get your canes plan, for instance, and then you can start to ramp up your EXP further there. And because those plans don't require, I don't believe they require, what's the phrase I'm looking for? The Forgotten Souls. They don't require like a legendary piece.
Hmm.
It's just the 3 like yellow, blue, and white materials. So you could actually craft all those sets up and start using them. So whenever your gear falls behind, just craft.
Which actually is another thing that we completely forgot to mention. The crafting, in addition to being like simplified, or at least like the recipes themselves, crafting itself is simplified across the board, and now it's the same mats. You no longer have the old classic Diablo mats. It is just it's like the Forgotten Souls. You disenchant a level 10 legendary and it gives you a Forgotten Soul. It's the same materials for the level 1 through 60 gear instead of like you have the 1 through 60 and then the 61 to 70 uses different mats. It's all the same thing now. So
And the items,
anything that you disenchant from level 1 to 69 as you're leveling will all be usable to craft your level 70 gear once you get there.
and the nice thing is, I think the crafting is going to be big in the leveling process because, I mean, because we have that portion, where like the mats aren't going to be outdated after you get to a certain point. You aren't required brand new mats, and then the other part is that the crafting, like the items that you craft, like when you craft them, they scale with your level. Not like they don't scale like once you craft it, that item doesn't scale with you, but the the item that you craft scales with whatever level you're at that moment. Did I make sense there, or am I confusing?
Well,
Like,
actually, you're working off of old info because that was how it originally was in the PTR, but
oh,
it
is that
ended.
not the way it is anymore?
No, it's not. So they actually changed it because that was one of the issues with some of the stuff that went wrong with the leveling process early on. People could
Hmm.
craft items that essentially had like no level requirement.
And
Um,
so once they got to level 70, they could craft an item, a level 70 item, and it had no level requirement, so that they could just give it, to a level 1 character. And it kind of was like, well,
Oh, yeah.
why do you have the Kanai's cube recipe? I'm forgetting which one it was, but it removed the level requirement. Well, I can just craft them like some legendary gear, like level 70 cane set, and they can wear it.
But
mhm.
don't they have like? Isn't it where like when you craft it though, like it crafts to the level that you're
No,
crafting, right?
no. So now
Might
the
be
way
wrong.
that it works is the blacksmith has certain tiers, and when you upgrade him, he gives you a tier. So like it'll be now you can craft level 24 gear, and the next tier is you can craft level 30 gear. The next tier is like 36. I forget exactly what the intervals are, but it essentially makes it so that as you get to that level, you can kind of prepare yourself ahead of time and level him up to that, or as you surpass that level, you might catch it up or whatever have you. But it is specific to certain levels.
Hmm.
Man, I just butchered it, giving wrong information.
The
I guess
butcher.
Well,
level. I didn't
well,
level anything in PTR, I guess. So
hmm.
And I did it 3 times, so I have a
did
little
you
bit of
really?
yeah, I did. So I have I paid a lot of attention to it because it was something I had to do quite a bit.
One question that we just had here from we talked about earlier, long shot. Should I do the 1 through 69 rush to get the cube, or just wait until 70? Um, I would say, you as long as you get it like some point before level 70, you're probably going to be good. Because there are some things that you can do. A couple episodes ago, we had someone send in what their thoughts were is like get the cube at level 30 when the puzzle ring starts dropping, so that way if you have one drop, you can immediately cube it for a vault and give you a ton of gold to like finish leveling off your blacksmith really quick, or you can even save it and then hit 70, then cube it and run the vault at 70 for a lot of gold that you can use,
Hmm.
from there. I've also heard people talk about, using the bovine bardish to, go through and grab the moo farm, just so it has a ton of experience. It's a great thing to do while you're leveling, just because there's a lot of mobs, a lot of XP, a lot of gem and gold drops in there as well.
Yeah.
So there's some
And
little
it's
things that
worth
you can do.
noting that it's not super hard to get. Like it's not
Yeah.
super time
I
consuming.
I would recommend against trying to get the cube
Right.
immediately at level 1,
Yeah.
because the mobs in there are closer in equivalency. Like even though all the mobs will scale to your level, fighting zombies in Act 1 at level 1 is a lot different than fighting the you
Dude's
know
throwing snowballs at you.
yeah, dudes throwing snowballs and the bees everywhere. It's the mobs are harder in Shesharon than they are in different acts. They're like
Mhm.
equivalent. They're kind of like halfway between like Act 4 and Act 5 mobs, which is stay away from Act 5 until you're like in your 20s, just so you have more skills and better gear. And a lot of those guys can stun you, have a lot of HP, do a lot of just different effects that makes it more difficult and more time consuming to kill. You'll be better off waiting in order to go there.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, is there
So,
anything else?
do we want to talk about our preliminary plans?
I'm down. I'm down to give away those secrets. Sure.
Do we
Um,
have? We don't really have secrets, do we?
No.
I only
We're
have
we're,
one
we're
plan.
streaming.
I have one plan.
Oh,
Get to
here it comes.
70.
Hashtag
Feed
V9 ball.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I guess we haven't really solidified anything yet. Like
Mm-mm.
we're kind of doing like a hybrid.
We're,
I
we're,
know
we're
that,
getting
but
we're getting online when the season goes live, and then we're playing until we hit 70, and then with my sleep schedule, I will probably actually be able to rival Steven for who stays up the latest.
heyo,
I like it.
There we go.
I'm getting off work and taking a nap, so I will.
Should we like change this? Should we like not be like stream till 70, stream till T6?
Ooh,
Oh man,
Throwing that out there.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
stream till T10. What do you? Why limit? I
I'm
stopped
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry. I'm like thinking old school here. It has a 2.3 hasn't settled on. I patched the game and logged in a little bit in order to approve a clan invite from someone that was tweeting at the show they were tweeting at the show last night in order to get into the clan. So it was wanted to go through and get them in there. But yeah.
Yeah, I think overall, in terms of like the whole leveling thing, there are basically like two camps to it, right? Like you either just want to enjoy the process, you will do whatever is most pleasing to you. If you want to run bounties, you know what? Do it. Just enjoy it. Have fun with it. If you want to like be at the cutting edge of getting to 70 as soon as possible, then do your Halls of Agony 3, do your Cursed Chests. Or if you want to dabble in a little bit of all of it, do a mishmash, like, go and kill some of the bosses, go and do some rifts, and then head on over to some bounties. Like there's nothing to stop you from, there's no one wrong way to do it in particular. It's just how fast do you want to get to 70.
Mm-hmm.
Real
And
fast.
real fast. And I guess
That's
it also goes kind of go, I guess not so much like secrets, but what our goals are. Why is it that you want to get to 70 so fast besides just like the hype and the freshness of a new season?
hmm Well, if you are targeting conquests,
Yep.
then you want to be there as fast as possible because it all, like I mentioned previously, it all snowballs, right? So the faster you get to 70, then the faster you can move into Torment, the faster you'll pick up your sets, the faster you'll move into higher greater rifts, then the faster you're moving to you're doing GR60, you're doing your Torment 10 in 2 minutes, you're doing
Mm-hmm.
your all that stuff. So if like you mentioned, if you are targeting specific goals, and especially if they're early season goals, then you want your time to be pretty efficient early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is one of those ones. It's I think we were talking about this maybe not on the episode, but while we were streaming like that first weekend, I remember it's like we hit 70. I took like a brief power nap, came back on, we started playing, and there were people that were already. I think you were playing in like Torment 3 or 4, and there were people, and I want to say you were maybe like Paragon 80, 100.
That sounds
And,
right, yeah.
and there were people that were already like Paragon 300 farming in like Greater Rift 30 something.
It's
They were,
crazy.
like within the first like 24 hours. And it's like, God damn.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's the power, that is the power of no sleep and a really dedicated and coordinated group because
Mm-hmm.
you can really make it as proficient and efficient for you as possible, right? Like if you're class stacking, like you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before, if you have a group that's like on Skype with each other, like coordinating all your movements, I mean, like you can literally turn it into a military exercise and
Mm-hmm.
you will go very far very quickly. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's regimented.
And especially, it's like, I think the person, I'm trying to remember who it was that I saw that was going through and doing that. Like one of the first people that had completed some of the old conquests, that it was like, hats off to the guys over at like Zero Empathy. They do not screw around. They probably have like spreadsheets and whiteboards and stuff just littering every single one of their rooms. It's like, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. In order to go and like feed gear and stuff in order to get their whole group like into the higher tournaments and immediately start knocking out those conquests.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing that.
That means, hey, if you are committing to that, it means you cannot sleep until T10.
I say like right now it's 10:15 p.m. and I feel good. So I know it's going to be a lot later than that, but if I could just keep going,
Ever so slightly, just a little bit, just a little bit.
I'm gonna get a really good workout in right before. So like I'm gonna do it right before, and then I'm gonna have a ton of energy, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a nap in.
I plan on waking up like 2 hours before the stream and just having like a full case of everybody's favorite Coke. I'm still waiting on that phone call. Energy drink, full throttle. Sorry, that went out there.
Sell out. Yeah, man. Energy drinks will be appropriate. Actually, this is a little segment that we used to do back in the day too. But are you guys targeting any specific snacks or like energy drinks or things that you use to not only keep yourself satiated while at the computer, but perhaps energized to stay up later than you might?
One of the things that I've done just for prior seasons as well as like big game releases is like a cheese plate. That has like some some crackers, like apples, grapes, and like a little dip or something like that. It's nice. It's just quick snack. You just pop in your mouth and it's good to go. You don't have to, and it can stay out. It's not something that's gonna go bad or like get soggy or melt or anything like that.
Yeah, I I'm gonna I'm I'm gonna sound really old right now, but I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm not a big sugar guy, and so like if I consume sugar, if I do like an energy drink that late, I will crash really hard, and so I will probably be doing like carrots and like my wife makes really good homemade hummus,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll probably be doing carrots and hummus. Um, I will toot my own horn. I make really good deer jerky. And so
Back on the jerky.
I am a redneck and I hunt, and so I will be eating a lot of carrots and hummus and probably a lot of jerky as well. So
Nice.
yeah. What about
Yeah,
you, Leviathan? What are you eating?
It's cool that everyone kind of has their thing. I'm a big pretzels person, so I love to
Okay.
have just like a bag of pretzels on hand. And I think obviously one of the big keys is it can't be anything that like is too sticky for the hands, right? Like it can't be sugar coated or it can't be saucy or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, or else you're gonna
Saucy.
you're gonna need like a million napkins. Just like, oh God, I gotta get that to blend. But for me, I really like apples because they actually say one apple contains like a similar amount of caffeine or not caffeine, of energy as a cup of coffee, which is kind of
Oh,
crazy when you think about it, and it's healthy for you too.
maybe I'll do some apples too.
Yeah, big fan of apples.
Big fan of apples.
I did
Apples.
order 72 K cups worth of K cups. K cups worth of K cups. 72
K
bucks.
cup 72. What flavor K cup did you get? K cup.
Cake up. Cake
It
up.
tastes like plastic.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
so
may have to do
good.
some coffee as well.
Hmm. And when you were mentioning the energy drinks, like I like to have them on hand, but they're my last resort because you almost can predict like the hours afterward of when you will eventually be shutting it down because it really is. It's like that. It definitely jumpstarts your system, but because it is such like a sugar rush, it is the kind of thing that will eventually shut you down too. So like when you're nearing the end and you just want to push like maybe another 2 hours, 3 hours, you can do an energy drink, but then you start to like feed into them. You're like, all right, I did one 3 hours ago. All right, I did one 2 hours ago. Oh God, I just did one 1 hour ago. You're gonna
It's like
need
that.
more and more.
It's like that burnout. It's like I gotta keep going because if I stop, I die. Yeah.
That's right.
So, Nineball, you're cracking an energy drink
Mm-hmm.
early on, right?
Oh, of course. I will open the show with one.
Leviathan, so you're going coffee. Are you waiting until you feel like you need it, or are you starting at the crack of 8? Or
So
crack
last season I had like a large iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts like an hour before. And I think I'll probably do that again just because I'm coming from a full work day, like 9 to 5. So I'm not gonna have a
Same.
bank of sleep ahead of it, so it kind of helps just to like push off the workday essentially and
I,
kind of re-energize.
I just want to throw something out there. I absolutely hate coffee, but since working at the theater, I know how to make a mean latte, and I'm learning how to do the
Ooh.
designs and the
Bring us some
cappuccinos and stuff.
lattes, Nimeball.
Oh, sure. Yeah, just I'll have them ready for you at the theater. Just come by and pick it up.
It's a quick stop.
Uh-huh.
You should learn to make like Diablo's face in one of them eventually.
I would totally do that. Like do like Imperial wings and like a soul stone, stuff that won't get me in trouble. Excuse me, can I talk to a manager? Somebody drew a Satan in my cappuccino.
What is this pentagram?
Great ideas to get fire.
Oh man, whatever gets you going, right? So like we must have hit a sweet spot because like chat is going crazy about what their plans are for food and drinks the night of season 4.
People are going and like debating back and forth. Caffeine is good. Caffeinated apples. It's like
Apples.
all this other types of stuff. Juiced up boogies, always have them when you're hungry farming.
Bugs.
Perfect. I mean, it really is. It's kind of the subject that hits home for everybody, right? Because everyone has some plan to be there. Hopefully, I mean, of course, there are those people that unfortunately they have work plans or prior plans that have them like out of state or whatever.
Yeah, and Fouch is actually pointing out something that's very valid. It's not going to affect me on Friday for launch, but Sunday, Monday, we might be like I'm like directly in the center of the cone for a tropical storm.
Oh.
It's still like that 5-day forecast. So all in all, it literally means nothing. And even if it's in the 3-day forecast, it's like 50-50 if it's even going to follow that. But it's like right now, it's just like one of those. It's like they keep adjusting it and it keeps moving down. It's like okay, it's going to Jacksonville. Okay, it's going to Daytona. All right. Oh, now it's going to West Palm. Great, awesome. So that will put an interesting spin on the beginning of season 4 should that happen.
This is why groups are important because someone in the group will save you.
Yes, exactly.
Especially if you're hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
Should we jump to the next topic, perhaps?
Yeah, we're getting behind, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we're going through. I guess some of the other ones that we can just kind of touch on quickly. Just showing some love to one of at least our favorite fan sites. Our Diablo, the Diablo subreddit. There is a beautiful guide that was posted earlier today by Deadset. He put together an awesome combination of a bunch of guides for all classes. So whether it is that you want to go through and do, like a Whirlwind Barbarian, you want to try out the new Hammerdin Crusader, he's got a guide for all the new stuff that's changing in 2.3. Highly recommend you go through, check it out. You can find a lot of it, I think he's put on the Icy Veins. They're all written up on the Icy Veins Diablo section he's written guides for. And, of course, it's the top thread on Reddit. As of this recording, it'll probably kind of be there up on the front page for at least the next day or two. Highly recommend you go and read through it.
And it's really well organized, and it gives you kind of a quick summary of each one. And so it's nice to have it all in one spot. And so I linked it in the chat, and we'll link it in the
we'll have a link in the YouTube video for iTunes and Stitcher. I'm sorry, I cannot link it directly in the MP3.
How do you not link it in the audio? Come on.
Although
man.
I could actually put it in the description in the ID3 tag if I really wanted to. If anybody would actually even pay attention to that or even bothers looking at it. Menegis, one of the moderators for the Diablo subreddit, is actually saying they are going to be putting up a Season 4 mega thread with a whole bunch of useful links and guides, and Deadset's guide is going to be in there, so you will be able to find it, and that's also just a nice little tip-off for when Season 4 starts, our Diablo, go check it out, and you will find their mega thread with a whole bunch of links to not just that and other great guides. I'll be excited in seeing what's in there.
Yeah, they do a really good job over there.
They have tons of resources, and also if you're still, like we were talking about at the outset of the show, looking for a group, you can connect with the community members on there as well too. Like there are so many resources if you need to find people. Like no one should be playing alone. I don't want anyone out there. If you want to play with people, I don't want anyone playing by themselves.
Yeah,
Because
and while we're on the topic, one thing, not in the Diablo subreddit directly, but if you go there on their sidebar, they have the different class subreddits, and all of them are awesome. So even though Dead Set has like links
they
to
really are.
guides to all the new
Crusader
the
one's
new
best.
hot stuffs. The Crusader one is very good, but all of them are amazing because, even though we've given you like the leveling tips in this episode of what to do to get you to 70, all of those class subreddits have beautiful starting guides to get you into Torment 1 as quick as possible. So that way, if you're trying out a new class, like, I'm going through and actually going to put a lot of effort into the Crusader for the first time. I went to the Crusader subreddit, and yeah, it's amazing. It has a great starter build, which wonderfully is hammer based and goes right into Seeker of Light. That is just, this build will get you into Torment 1, get you your sets, and then you can start branching out from there. So it's something I highly recommend if you're trying out a new class, trying out Seasons for the first time, or you want to try out Hardcore and you're not sure what to go about, what a good actual class or good spec is for Fresh Level 70. Beautiful resource, all right there at your fingertips.
there you go. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of the thing too, right? Like these are the places that you want to be if you're not sure of what you're going to do. I know some people don't even know what class they're going to play at. Start flipping your coins and rolling your dice from now so you can figure it out. But it's just a good template, right? Because at some point you're probably going to be in one of those builds and like, I have an idea. Like I'm going to change the law to this law. I'm going to use this rune. But just because those builds say that they are what they are doesn't mean that that's like steadfast, right? You can make it your own, and it's just great to have like a solid starting point. And that's pretty much like what all this has been about the last hour or so. Just these are the things to do to get you to start out at a good spot, but make it your own at some point.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that, I mean, people are asking in chat like what's a good class to start out with this season, and that there are so many good options for every class, and that those Reddit subsections and all that good stuff are such great tools to try each one. I mean, because how many times have the three of us, even over the past episodes, changed our minds or said, okay, I'm going this class, and I've changed my mind. Actually, no, I think I'm going to do this class, and that's the beauty of this current season coming up, is that there's so many good options, and you really I don't feel like you can go wrong. I really don't.
And again, that also is, aligning with your goals too. Like, what do you plan to want to focus on early on or late season or whatever have you, especially if you're going to roll multiple classes, you're eventually going to do them all. Or if that's your plan, if that's your goal, but where you start might help where you end up and how soon you get to the other stuff, etc.
Because certain classes, might get you into like the Torment 10 sooner. Like, you plan on, even though you want to focus on the Crusader, you plan on rolling a Barb first just because they're kind of like in a better spot. So you'll be able to get that power level increase faster to then go and farm up the gear, complete some of the conquests, and get your Crusader better set up than starting with the Crusader.
Exactly.
I'm a casual player, so I'm not going to do that. Just saying.
Different levels to it. Different levels.
Different levels.
Different levels, different goals, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess. Do you guys want to talk about anything speculative?
In terms of?
IGN recently released an article where they sat down with Rob Foote as well as Wyatt Chang to discuss some of the things like the future of Diablo, like where the series is going, how it's shaping up. And it had some pretty interesting things that they mentioned there, that kind of like where Diablo might be going in the future, that I thought would be an interesting topic to talk about.
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So
riddle me this.
Riddle me this. Riddle me that.
At one point, I decided, man, I love the Diablo series so much, and they just came out with a PlayStation 4 version. I'm gonna use this opportunity to get Diablo for the PlayStation 4 and also buy a PlayStation 4.
Hmm.
But then I was saddened to find out, even though I'd be getting patch updates, which is awesome, that there are no seasons on the consoles. And then, I rooted around for some info, and they were saying, it's not a thing that we really want to do. Is there any hope for me?
Yes, yes, there is. There is
What?
hope for you.
Tell me more.
Um, I'm sure anyone that listens to the show, and we have a lot of people that are console players that listen to the show, um, that even though you get the seasonal items and those updates, you don't get seasons themselves. Blizzard has always said, well, the point of a season is the leaderboard, and it undermines any legitimacy to the leaderboard because people can play offline, they can hack items, they can do all this stuff, and so the leaderboards is just going to be full of like nothing but hackers with 35,000 DPS, Azure rafts and crap like that. Um, but now at this point, especially with patch 2.3, Blizzard is starting to step away from, seasons aren't just about the leaderboard. That was the whole intent behind going and making the seasonal journey. Here is a guideline of something that you can do outside of trying to grind the leaderboard that makes you feel accomplished. And they're thinking that maybe they can loosen up those restrictions and actually bring seasons to the consoles, not from the aspect of, well, here's a fresh leaderboard, see if you can get to the top, but here's a fresh start. And here's a seasonal journey to give you some sort of reason to want to play the season on the console besides just starting over.
Right. I
You know?
mean, that was one of the things originally that we used to talk about being so excited for seasons for, right? Is it's a fresh start. I have this account that's totally built up. At this point, I'm just mindlessly farming T6. And this, of course, is before the advent of greater rifts and all that stuff, the seasonal stuff. And so we're like, man, I'm so excited for seasons. It's that fresh reset. And now we get to compete on these leaderboards. We get to go for conquests, etc. Um, and I think it's great that they're starting to realize that that is a thing that people do. Like you mentioned, maybe it's not the only thing that they want to do, and at some point that freshness wears off. But having the seasonal journey also be there to tie in is like a sweet, perfect union of reasons that make sense to have seasons when it's not just about the leaderboards anymore.
Hmm. And then, one of the other things that they mentioned is like the first time that they've talked about PvP in a while, but they did get asked about PvP and how that might factor into the future of Diablo. Still waiting for patch 1.1. We were promised patch 1.1 will get PvP. Still isn't here yet. Still waiting. Um, but it's like they've kind of always like dodged the question of PvP, and this one they kind of like zero in and answered it directly, and unfortunately is not good news. If it's
Wow.
PvP is something that you've been looking for in Diablo, they pretty much straight up said that every time that they want to work or do something with PvP, PvE suffers. So
Yep.
with all the stuff that they're doing in like 2.3, that would have gotten delayed um, if they spent time developing PvP. So it's not just trying to develop systems for PvP, but it's like trying to find a way of balancing it. And we saw in the Play Your Way stream that Droth Vader was on, he was just running around one-shotting people. It's like no matter how much defense that you have, our damage scales so exponentially faster than our survivability that you could probably even put in like just in addition to all the defenses that you have, your character takes 99.9% less damage. And like by the end of like season 4 with all the power creep, they're still going to be like one-shotting you.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
it
like who can shoot first, or like who can get the damage out the quickest.
Exactly. It's like I can just go and throw blizzards off screen, and you can't get to me because you have to walk through the blizzard and die. It's like one of those ones. It's like, and this is something that happened a lot in Diablo 2 in that PvP scene. There were some things that they kind of just would get in there and two-shot you or stun lock you to death, and you couldn't do anything about it. It's a lot of just going and using just teleporting around, using Enigma to teleporting around to see who can get the position, who can get the hammer off or the charge off first, or up, I got you, it's wasn't even though people enjoyed it, I never PvP'd that much because it was very
I wasn't either.
gamey, very gamey. And I don't know if they'll ever come up with something in a future expansion or whatever. I actually like the idea that Flux was commenting on that he wrote over on DiabloI.net, and this is something that he's been talking about for years. Is what if they did a PvP system with pre-made characters? And I know that question got proposed to the developers, and their response was, "Well, you're not playing your character, so the attachment won't be there." But wouldn't it be kind of cool? I guess like more of like the kind of an arcade-ish fighter. I don't know.
I mean, I have no comment for it because in Diablo is never. I didn't participate in D2. I don't really care if it's in D3 or not. So like, I'm just like I wash my hands of it. Like it's let the people debate if they really want it or not. But if it's a matter of them like, think about it this way: how hyped are you for Kanai's Cube right now? How hyped
Super
are
hyped.
right? How hyped are you for new sets in the game right now?
Super
Yay.
hyped.
So if you have the choice between that or them like making work on PvP and maybe it finally gets in the game and maybe it finally feels good, I'm gonna go the PvE options the whole way. But that's just me.
Yeah, I have to say that my personal preference is I would kind of I would prefer the PvE content um, over the PvP content. Especially with the logistics of how it would possibly be. I would feel bad for any developer that would attempt to balance PvP in Diablo 3. I mean, it's one of those. I commented on the article, for the IGN article about that. Like, even looking at World of Warcraft, which doesn't have anywhere near the like the severity of difference between their damage and their survivability, and that system is still just, can I stun you for 4 seconds and kill you in that time period? They've done everything that they possibly could to try and slow out PvP so that way it gives you better decisions, while keeping everything balanced around PvE and PvP. So it's just, we'll add in gear and you'll wear PvP gear instead of PvE gear, and that will make you better. And they finally have reached to the point where it's not possible to continue to balance it like this. We have to make PvP different. And so they're now adding in PvP talents, so that are only effective when in PvP, that will change skills, and so that way your character will essentially function radically different in PvP than it does in PvE, so they can balance that skill set and that talent set and not have to worry about it affecting, raids and dungeons and content outside of PvP, which is the huge issue. That's the balancing act. Do I want to make the skill do the same thing in both and then have to nerf it? If I nerf it because it's doing too much in, PvE, and it's part of an exploit that's allowing them to clear greater rift, 130 or whatever, but then it's going to suffer in PvP, or the same way around. This skill is just too powerful. I have to nerf it in PvP, but then now all of a sudden that class can't compete. It's going to, the maximum greater rift that they clear is going to drop by 2 whole greater rifts. I don't know.
Right. I mean, we would be remiss not to mention to a lot of people in chat are saying like, you want to play PvP,
Yep.
play Heroes. And I think as Heroes gets more developed, like consider all the factors. Heroes is a free-to-play game, so there's no bar to entry. Of course, some people might say you have to buy your characters, etc. Whatever. You can actually play the game for free if you download it right now on your computer. There are
Right
Diablo
meow?
characters. Right meow.
Right
Say
meow?
meow.
If you own Diablo 3, you can actually get a free Diablo character. So, that kind of circumvents some of your complaints about not having characters right away. There are free to play characters each week that rotate. There are Diablo characters, and some people say the skills for some of those Diablo characters actually function better in Heroes than their versions in Diablo 3. So, I don't know. If you want that fix, it's a game that's literally being made for the player versus player aspect of it. It has a whole development team behind it. Just do
And
that.
it's not that like it doesn't have that different of a feel than Diablo. I mean, it's very different. It's a very different game, but like like the angle, like the point of view, like everything, like I mean, with the exception of a few small little controls, like it's a very similar feel. And I know we've talked about this, outside of the podcast. Like we've talked about it quite a few times about just feel like playing PvP. Just go play Heroes of the Storm. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I would rather the Diablo team. I mean, they're already like very limited, in the amounts that they can do that, that quickly, in the time frame that we want to see content. Like, I would rather them provide new PvE stuff, and like we already know that they're, like they have these things that they want to get to, and they have other things that they'd like to get to, but they're not going to be able to because of their limited resources. So PvP is the last one of the bottom priorities that I would like them to see them focus on, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think you're gonna get an argument from any of us.
Not to say I don't want PvP
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
in
it
the
would be
game at
fun.
some point, but yeah, if I had to choose, it definitely would be give me another feature like Kanai's Cube, give me another Shesharon, let me go through and play in Scovos, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yep.
So good read though. Yeah, so we'll link that in the show notes as well, the IGN article.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth going out and checking. And of course, it was one of those they were asked about future content in Diablo. Are we going to get or is 2.3 kind of like, are we going to expect more stuff like 2.3? Are we going to get a new expansion? And it's the prepackaged PR response. Can't talk about it. It's like I can't say about what's going on in the future. Here's some of the new stuff we added in 2.3.
I cannot confirm if there's a future or not.
I can neither confirm nor deny whether there's going to be expansion, but then again, all eyes on BlizzCon.
Boom, boom.
We're just
We're not that far away.
No, not at all. Like 2 months.
I think I heard someone say like
barely
8
2
days.
months. Yeah,
something like that.
60-something days, yeah.
60.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. It'll be epic. It'll be lovely.
But by the way, if you can't make BlizzCon and you're in like the Midwest-ish area, I'm in Indiana, and we are planning on having some people over to my house. You guys can crash it if you want to. So
will there be jerky?
Oh, I'll make some jerky for it. And I might have another deer by then, because bow season starts sooner than October.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, plenty of time. Plenty of time. More jerky for everybody. that is what everyone needs for their Diablo.
Hey, I make some killer jerky. My friends at work always ask for me. They're like, "You got any more of that jerky, man? Can I have some of that?"
Y'all got any more of that deer jerky?
I can just get a little piece. All right.
Okay. So, do you guys have anything else to add on, or should we get into our community section for the episode?
Let's do community.
All right. Would you like to take the first email?
Oh yeah, I will do that. Let me pull it up. So the first email comes from I think it's Gorgonzer. Gorgonzer. He said he's just sending us an email. Wanted to introduce himself. He's been playing D3 since it's released. And yeah, he just returned now because he's got his computer working again. And so yeah, he was just wanting to see if he could jump in the clan. And since then, he sent his introduction in, and I sent him an invite. And I think he's been in the clan for about half of a week or so. So welcome to the clan. Glad to have you aboard. Just wanted to give you a shout out on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
Yeah, I've seen him in there doing some work a few times. So yeah, welcome aboard. That's all. That's all the first email.
There we go.
You know what? Again, now that I look at it, I gave Leviathan, the guest of the show, the longest email.
Again.
You're welcome.
But it's okay. This time it's okay, because he's not really a guest. He's got a family here, so we can do that to him. We can,
When you're here, you're family.
Exactly.
Oh man, we're just giving plugs to Olive. I would actually like a Olive Garden sponsor before Friday, because I would love me some never-ending breadsticks. Like, could you imagine playing the season and then some dude just like keeps feeding you breadsticks?
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to fit out the door afterwards.
Lest I repeat, now we play the game, Kyle.
Mom, bathroom. Mom,
someone needs that reference. Make Love Not Warcraft episode of South Park. I gotta kind of fill people in with the inside jokes that we always have running.
Okay,
So
okay. Can I continue?
can I? Well, it's Biden's turn, and I had some thought behind this. I gave this one to you because I know you also know this person as well, and so I figure, okay, you know, it
That makes
makes
sense. Yeah. All right. Well, this one comes in from our good friend who's been doing work out in the sands, the desolate sands. This is Sergeant Kevin Deer, I think it might be Deer, also known as Psycho in the clan. He writes in with the standard greeting of "Sup, fellas. It's been a while, but your Iron Wolf is still wandering the desolate sands. Fortunately, for the last few moons, thankfully they weren't of spiders, creepy things. There's a little lore for you. And now he is so excited for the new patch. He said his deployment timer reads roughly 3 moons left. I
Hmm.
don't, is that days? Because then that's not too far.
Days or months?
Oh, moons. Oh, like the passing of the moon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. All right. So he's got still some more time out there. He's super excited about the new patch and other games, which he wants to mention. The new StarCraft will be coming out, which he says at least that's Blizzard related. He's stoked for Beyond Earth's new expansion and the new Galactic Civilizations. Still looking forward to the hour or so in his early mornings by the spine of the world. Damn, wrong fantasy world again. Killing demons with the occasional pop in from Lala or Alienationer.
Mm-hmm. Two other, great members of the clan.
Absolutely.
yes.
He's loving all the lore talk and speculation about the potential expansion. Big thanks to Nineball for recommending Demon Haunted World. Finally got to it after another stack of books about as tall as the pictures from before, and he would agree that the citizens of all of Sanctuary and Westmarch in particular would benefit from a skeptical worldview and science popularization. Good luck with the new season, and you can't touch this.
No. I still need to get those hammer
See hammer?
pants. I guess I have to overnight it from Amazon now.
Think so.
I say yes, so yeah. But yeah,
But yeah,
thank you,
he's not. So
thank
he's
you very much, Psycho, for sending in the letter. It's been a while since I last heard you. Always love hearing from you, and
he's
cannot
coming
wait
back soon.
to. Yeah, cannot wait. You're gonna be
We've
home
been
in time
saving
for
your spot.
Christmas. Mm-hmm.
We've been saving your spot in the clan, so you're still there.
Mm-hmm. And
Don't
just
you
in
worry.
case Lieutenant Lunatic, gets scared and has to pull rank and accidentally kicks you, we'll definitely let you back in.
I think no.
I know, I know.
No, no.
Yeah. All right. Now, can I continue?
Can I continue?
Yes, you can.
There we go. This one is it's short. I guess we're kind of ending the emails of how we started them. This one comes in from
Say it.
You can do it.
Sinek, 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 X,
X.
it's X, Nate. We're going with that, Nate. He was the fan that was talking with us on Twitter earlier, sent in an email, wanted to join the BlizzPro clan. He plays both softcore and hardcore. He goes back and forth. Right now is the way that his schedule is. Softcore is a little bit better, which I can fully understand when you don't have a lot of time to go and re-level tunes. So softcore looks like a little bit easier, and it's like, I don't really have time to, rebuild in case I lose something, and he plays a demon hunter and a crusader, so
Yeah.
kind of fill
Nice.
You guys can be like BFF.
exactly. So it's welcome to the clan. Glad to have you in. Can't wait to maybe go and run some season 4 content with you if you dabble in hardcore a little bit for season 4.
Yeah, and the nice thing about if you decide to run hardcore and you're part of the Bliss Pro clan, we have so many like really helpful hardcore players in the clan that will help you get back on your feet pretty quickly if you do lose a character. So
Mm-hmm.
be less scared of playing hardcore.
Let me see. We do have one last email. This one comes in from Haverith. And I'm not going to go through and show it on here. I don't know how
I was like, what?
copyrighted content and stuff like that goes on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that. But he sent in a little comic strip from Deadpool discussing everyone's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks. And, his thank you for your love and appreciation of sending in a beautiful comic strip of, what truly is. And it ends with just Jar Jar Binks' abomination. Say it!
Say it.
Say it! So definitely, thanks for looking out and standing in defiance with me against the people in Clam Chat that want to say that word and profess love for that character.
They love making 9-ball. That's the Jar Jar.
Yep.
It's pretty funny though. I wish we could somehow show it to everybody, like show it in our audio and all that stuff, but unfortunately we can't.
Yep. But yeah, that kind of wraps it up for this particular week. I imagine a lot of people, there wasn't too many emails or feedback. I imagine a lot of people are trying to accomplish their end of season goals or been psyched and hyped for the new patch that just hit or getting ready for season 4 itself. But by all means, if you want to send in feedback, Westmarch Workshop at blizzpro.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at the WM Workshop. But of course,
We saving items of the week next week.
No, we've got items for
okay.
the week now.
Okay.
I just want to go through.
I thought we were going to the close. I was like, oh, okay.
No, not going into the closing yet. I'm just
because
saying,
I'm excited for this section finally.
Oh, yeah, you're excited. You're excited. God, this guy, I swear, every time. All right, are you ready? May I? Can I continue?
Can I do it?
Can I? So items of the week. This item was gone and sent in to us by Blue Ruin, who's in the chat here with us. Or actually, no, sorry, that's Blue Ruin, someone else. Getting confused. Too many people, too many
Blue Ruin and
it
Blue.
does look similar, though. I know.
Yeah. This one is a ancient serpent sparker that rolled 3080.8 DPS. Was been re-rolled for 10% weapon damage, has 871 intelligence, 934 vitality, 13 maximum arcane power, and of course legendary property, you may have one extra Hydra active at any one time. And then of course Ramalani Ding Dongs for the socket. Beautiful little
Pretty.
Yep, beautiful little wizard item right there.
Pretty wizards.
Mm-hmm.
They always got good looking weapons.
It's been so long since I played a wizard.
I know. That's why I always like seeing him, because I'm always like, oh yeah.
That's what that looks like.
That's what it is. Dang.
That's what it looks like.
Our next item was sent in here by Daniel. He sent in a screenshot of the Immortal King's Boulder Breaker. I can talk. This one is sent in from the console. You can kind of tell by the difference in the screenshot there. This one rolled 4,578 DPS, was re-rolled for 10% damage, 1,354 strength, 7% attack speed, 257 experience per kill. As always, the ignores durability loss and the 51% Call of the Ancients damage bonus, and a Ronald McDonald's for a socket.
Man, you're looking at a really great boulder breaker here. And what's wonderful, fantastic, I'll dive into a little bit of barbarian stuff here, but this item is going to be coming back in season 4, because season 3, the meta kind of shifted towards the Bokathos swords, those the two mighty weapons. And so that was kind of what the end of the season saw for the meta. But now with the Kanai's Cube and some of the combinations, people are putting together like speed farm builds combining Ray cores and IK. Just the buff to IK itself has brought this weapon and some of the other combinations back into the fold. So it's awesome. So excited. So many choices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good looking.
Yeah, next, this one wasn't actually submitted to us, but it came across on Twitter. This is from Ro of Real Maintenance. Both Steven and I appeared on his podcast. He gave us a little shout out, invited us over. He does a podcast about podcasts.
So meta.
Yep. And he had this wonderful Squirt's necklace went through and dropped that it rolled with 16% fire damage, 1,000 intellect, critical damage increase by 100%, and then was re-rolled for critical hit chance increased by 10%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then of course, I mean, who cares about the secondary bonuses? But it's 11,000 life after each kill and 75% extra gold for monsters. But talk about like perfect. Like I want to roll a wizard now. There's like
It's a lot of ones and a lot of zeros.
there's a lot of ones and a lot of zeros in that screenshot right there. Right there, indeed. The only thing that it is missing is a socket. But I mean, just look at it.
Imagine someday when we get the Ronald McDonald's for jewelry.
The Reaper McDonald's, Happy
Yeah.
Reaper. Wasn't
There
that?
you
I have to come up with
Yeah.
a new name for it.
It was Reaper's Gift, wasn't it?
Yes, I think that sounds right.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, when Diablo 3 launched in China, there was an item data mined in it that was called Reaper's Gift, which is the same thing as Ramaladni's Gift, only it worked on jewelry. So it would add a socket to jewelry. It's not made any appearance since it was data mined, but it's possibility. It's out there somewhere. Life will find a way. Something like that. Any other movie
Life will
quotes?
find a way.
Uh-huh.
No, I got nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, good job, bro.
Good job. I am jealous. Extremely so. Here we go.
Yeah.
This non-ancient item was sent in by Chris.
Oh, come on.
This item was sent in to us by a certain Chris. It's Wraps of Clarity.
That's me, guys. That's me.
It's him.
Wow.
It's this guy.
This is
Lieutenant
full
Lunatic.
sellout mode.
Yeah, Lieutenant Lunatic wanted to send in his own item to be
I
featured
did
on
it.
the show.
I sure did it. I did it.
He did it.
Oh my
This
goodness.
guy. This
I
guy.
had to, man.
You didn't even re-roll it.
No, my point was I didn't want to re-roll it yet because I wanted to show like how good it looked before it was
It's rolled with
rolled.
armor.
All right.
Because it was almost max at armor too.
Oh wow, so
I didn't-
impressive. Wow.
All right. Sorry, didn't mean
So-
to.
No, here we go.
The only two caveats is that it's not ancient and it's non-season.
Yep, non-ancient, non-season. It's garbage. Who cares?
That's
but
what Blaine Train keeps saying in chat. Vendor that.
This is the Wraps of Clarity. It's one of the new Demon Hunter items that were added in patch 2.3. It came with increases fire skills deal 20% more damage, 499 dexterity, 394 armor. Woo. Increases critical hit chance by 6%, 145 physical resistance in the legendary property for this new item. Your hatred generators reduce damage taken by 35% for 5 seconds.
So strong.
So strong.
Like that is the perfect. I have talked about this item in the past. Like this is so good for those unhallowed essence demon hunters. I mean any demon hunter that's running focus and restraint, which is like all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point you're not only leveraging your generator to work with like one of the sides of focus and restraint to proc that, but now you're also getting a defensive benefit from it, which has forever plagued demon hunters. You know, they've been squishy.
Yeah.
Put out a ton of damage, but now you're actually getting a chance to mitigate some damage as well too, for free essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And it costs you wearing Reaper's Wraps, but with the cube you can always either have Reaper's Wraps and equip this, or equip the Reaper's Wraps property in order to go through and do it, or Bloody Vengeance, or you have ways around it. It does change up your gameplay a little bit.
Tons of options, or your Yang's recurve.
Or that's right. Or if you have Yang's recurve, I mean, who cares about Reaper's Wraps? What are Reaper's Wraps?
Exactly.
I have like 80% resource cost
jelly?
reduction. I don't care about resource.
I don't even know what jelly is.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in raid call last night, and we were all looking at it, and it popped up, and we go, ooh.
So you're like,
it's like a gradual like
You're like reading every stat line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If only it was ancient.
That'll be the last item I send in, probably.
Which, speaking of ancient, we have this is like crashing rains are turning into our furnaces.
Yeah.
This one we have
seriously.
an ancient crashing rain that came in. This one clocks in at 608 dexterity, 552 vitality, 115 resistance to all elements, 480 armor, Has been re-rolled for 480 armor. I guess still going for the life percentage there. Monster kills grant 253 experience, and this one isn't as impressive as some of the other ones that we've had, but it's like the first ancient crashing rain that we've had in a while. Rain of Vengeance also deals 3,460% weapon damage when you cast it. So definitely still a beautiful, beautiful crashing rain.
That is good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient crashing rains are always nice looking though, because their stats are just so high.
Mm-hmm. And this was sent in to us by Xavier. And Xavier also sent in another item, and this is the one I was talking about earlier. It's a screen capture from the player profile, but it's not showing the item. Yeah, it has the tooltip for the image for the item is kind of wonky.
Oh, look
there.
at that. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
This is their Ancient Natalia Slayer, which rolled 3,284 DPS.
It's in cloaking mode.
Yep, it's been the base damage was re-rolled in order to get it up to that high. It came with
Cloaking mode. Sorry.
It's like Nine Ball's trying to do a podcast over here.
I know. I'm sorry.
But no item that small has a cloaking device. Have to
Love it.
bring in.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
Can I continue?
Can I
continue? Got the it came with the 7% damage, so I imagine since they re-rolled the base damage, it had pretty low base damage, and they used Xavier used a spreadsheet to go and see what would give them the most bang for their buck. Although for like a Nats build, it might have just been better off with like using this in the offhand and re-rolling the life per hit into cooldown reduction, maybe depending upon whether they're if it was going to make that much of a difference or not. But it also had 980 dexterity, 21,000 life per hit, increases Rain of Vengeance damage by 21%, and 9 maximum discipline. Has not thrown on a Ramalana Ding Dongs for a socket just yet, but I'm sure they probably will in the near future.
It's good looking.
Yep. And then continuing on, we have a Ancient Corrupted Ashbringer. I love these. I absolutely love them.
I do too.
This one comes in at 4,428 DPS. Again, the base damage was re-rolled because it already came with 10% damage rolled onto the item already. So in order to get the most out of it, they re-rolled the base damage. It also has 1,381 intellect, 1,438 vitality, the base effect 10% bonus damage to undead, 17,000 life per kill, and the legendary bonus, which actually almost rolled max of after you get the proc, it increases your damage where it puts the damage bonus, the 5,925% holy damage bonus whenever you attack an enemy in a Ronald McDonald's for a socket.
I remember back in the day we were tracking the amount of damage for the legendary effects on these, and I think this might be the highest one on the show so far.
I think this is
pretty
probably
high.
is one of the highest that we've ever had. And it's ancient too.
And yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that is one of those ones where we also had an email that you cannot cube the Corrupted Ashbringer.
It's true.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning is behind that. Some people have gone out and thrown out theories that since it changes the effect of your it changes the graphic of your item, that might be and somehow tied into legendary property that they couldn't that's probably why it might not be cubable.
Actually, weren't we?
Or-
I think we
or
were
not.
debating this last night. Because, like you're mentioning, that transformation, it would take whatever weapon you were currently using and then transform it. So I would imagine that would mean literally for every item, they would have to make that animation happen. So they probably just haven't gotten around to it. Its power is too weird, basically.
I
says
wonder, I wonder if it just if it's just a graphical change, does it matter too much? Can they separate that from the code, or is it like the old, D2 Necromancer when you completed the Trang Ol, now Trag Ol set that it screws with your casting speed? Would it like go through change the graphic, but also equip you with a two-hander, so that way all of a sudden you're attacking at a slower rate, even though you had like a one-hander equipped? Or something along those lines.
So many complications.
It's like I don't know how it works in the back end and the coding. It's not the only one. There are a few other legendaries out there that their effect just is not cubable for one reason or another. I don't know if
Hellfire
this.
amulets.
Yeah, I don't know if it has something to do with that, or maybe it's just because it's Corrupted Ashbringer. It's too badass. If you want to use this weapon, you have to equip it. No cube for you.
That's probably the best one to go with, right? It's just
Yeah.
too powerful for the cube.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you can always still equip a Corrupted Ashbringer and then cube whatever weapon that you would use with it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is there, and that brings us to the end of our items of the week in our community section. So I don't know, is there any last thoughts that you guys have? Any shout outs or anything?
Oh, season 4.
Yeah.
It is
I
almost
think
here.
I think at this point I've received 6 texts from Lieutenant Lunatic that look exactly the same, and they read, "Man, I wish season 4 was right now."
Right
I know.
now.
You're like, I'm still at work, and I just wish it was right now.
Mhm.
Oh man. And it's just like I'm at work, so there's like, what else is there to do? I'm just kidding.
Uh-huh.
I'm kidding.
I got
My
nothing
boss
else to
isn't
do. I'm just-
listening.
Oh,
No, I
Yeah,
think I think we're pretty much just in the calm before the storm. Everyone is just waiting with bated breath, and I know so many people that have been like they stop by streams or like the clan chat or whatever. They're just like, yeah, I'm checking in, but I'm not playing yet. I just want to wait to release it all on Friday, season 4.
you're saving, you're collecting that energy. You're like just drawing it in. You're gonna drop that spirit bomb right
Spirit
when
bomb.
Friday comes around.
That's right.
Hmm.
guys, I would recommend you at least log in and just get yourself acquainted.
Yeah, I
It's
also
not.
love all the the little quality of life changes, like the little UI stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
So
we got
next
nothing.
week, this time when we do a new episode, we're gonna be in season 4.
I know. So
Get hype.
exciting.
Get hype.
Get hype.
Our game of the week, our week in gaming is gonna be a lot longer.
Our weekend
next
gaming
week.
is going to be the episode.
It probably will. Yeah, you're right. It'll be
Just
the
throwing that out there. Be prepared.
There's gonna be less news, more weekend gaming.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
I'm all for it.
So I don't want to like skip into the outro, but if you guys have any fun stories that while you're like leveling up or getting into your first part of season 4, send us an email because we'd love to like talk about it next week. Any crazy game stories or anything like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Send us in. What epic loot you get here in the first week or the first actually couple days of season 4. Any stories that you had while leveling. Any cool accomplishments, any epic deaths you had while going to 70 or just getting to 70. We definitely would love to hear them. And as always, you can send in your emails to westmarchworkshop@blizzpro.com. You can follow us on Twitter at the WM Workshop. You can send in items or comments, interact with us there, chat with us. And you can always find the show live every Wednesday night at twitch.tv/BlizzPro. While you're here, go ahead, click the follow button, and you can come hang out and see the other shows that we offer. On Sunday night, we have the Well Met podcast, where we talk about Hearthstone. On Monday nights, starting next week, Twizcast is back, which is kind of a live show that covers all things Blizzard. Everything from Diablo, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, Heroes. They'll cover it all, and it's not like any other podcast that you've watched. It's not one that I would recommend just listening to. It's one that you actually have to watch. It's like a TV show, like an hour-long TV show for Blizzard content. It is awesome. It's amazing. That's put on by Twiz. Definitely recommend that you go through and check that out starting next week on Monday. Tuesday nights is the Heroes Power Hour. Twiz, JR, Eldorian, Balrog Fan, and DJ Tyrant get together, play Heroes. I'm there sometimes too. Work's been getting in the way, so you probably will not see me on Heroes Power Hour at least for the next month, because we're starting a classic movie series every Tuesday night, and I'm either going to be at work or watching one of them through the month of September. So I'm sorry I won't be there. And of course, there's us, like I just mentioned, on Wednesdays. So we have a pretty roundabout coverage of everything going on in the Blizzard community. You can also find us in game Look for us on the Blizz Pro clan. As we talked about, you can send us an invite. We always appreciate if you send us drop us an email if you want to get into the clan, so that way we know we'll take people that send us an email before we take people that don't, just so that way we know who you are and what it is that that you play and what you do. We just appreciate hearing from you. If you don't want to leave your clan, you're already in one, you're playing with your friends, you can join the Westmarch Workshop community, so that way you don't have to leave your clan, but you can still go through, talk with us, talk with other listeners of the show, and hang out. You can also check out all the content that we do here and more at diablo.blizzpro.com to see stuff from Lieutenant Lunatic, myself, as well as all the other contributors that we have over there on staff. You can chat with us during the week live. We have a raid call for BlizzPro. It's channel 644-6420. I think that's right, doing it off my head. And you can also always just follow us individually. I'm at 9ballgamer. You can follow this guy over here at LTLunatic22, or you can follow Leviathan at SAStewart111. Because you're our special guest here, where else can they follow you, Leviathan?
Appreciate that. People can also head over to my stream, which I will now hopefully be doing nearly daily. So that's going to be twitch.tv/Leviathan111. And between that and Twitter, you can find me.
All right. And just last minute, is there anything else that you guys would like to add on?
Season 4.
Hype!
Get hype! And remember, hashtag #Fee9ball.
Check out Friday's stream on your guys' places.
Yep.
We'll be there.
We'll be there on those places.
Yep, places.
Yep. Twitch.tv/Leviathan111, Twitch.tv/9ball. Go. Do it now. Do it now! Get down!
Get down.
Get to the season!
Hype!